Yo, what is good, everyone? Your boy Deke back again with another vid. We got some unfortunate news turned fortunate news yesterday. Chase Claypool was injured in training camp. This was the initial report. I don't know if this dude was first or not, but this was one of the pictures that was taken. Eric Ebron, Big Ben carrying Chase Claypool off the field after he was injured late in practice on Tuesday. And then Schefter quote tweets it. I don't know if he was the first to report this. Like I said, there was a lot of people, probably some Pittsburgh beat writers were before Schefter, but early diagnosis is that Steelers receiver Claypool suffered minor ankle sprain today and should be fine. And then another hour or two goes by. Chase Claypool says on Twitter, all is well. And then we got, look at the early comments. W, thank the Lord, you the man. So Claypool's all right. He's going to be all right. But literally within a 3-4 hour window, so many wide range of emotions. Is Claypool going to be out long term? What does this mean for the season? And then all of a sudden, Claypool is going to be fine. Hopefully, he's going to be ready by week 1. We shouldn't see him anymore in preseason, in my opinion. I don't know how much more activity he's going to be doing in training camp. But one of the things I was thinking about this injury, just right off the bat, not right off the bat. First, I was like, shit, we can't be losing Chase Claypool. He's going to be that important to the offense. I think he could be a legitimate top 5 to 10 receiver in this league if he takes that sophomore jump. Second thing I was thinking is like, damn, it's actually good we haven't traded James Washington yet. It's pretty good we still have him. Now, I understand why James Washington wants to be traded. But think of our 4 receivers, our top 4, and the depth that we have. Arguably the deepest wide receiver core in the NFL with Chase Claypool, Juju, Deontay Johnson, then James Washington. But if one of those top 3, whether it's Claypool, whether it's Juju, whether it's Deontay Johnson, get hurt, and we traded James Washington, that looks a little bit different. And I think in the offseason, we just take for granted the injuries that can occur throughout the season. Think of the Steelers just last year. On defense, 2 stars, 2 players that we were expecting to be there the whole season. They were going to be staples for our defense and an important part of what we do. Devin Bush and Bud Dupree go down. Joe Hayden gets out. I think it was for 2 or 3 games. One was the playoff. Another one was the Bills game, another important game with COVID. So I think with offseason talk, we're always looking on the most positive spin for our teams, which we should, because whenever we're breaking down stuff, we shouldn't be bringing up, I predict this guy's going to get hurt, because you can't predict that one way or another. But injuries do happen, and our receiving core, top 3, even James Washington, have been healthy, relatively healthy throughout their career. Juju's probably the one that's been most injury plagued, but it hasn't been that bad. It was only really 1 season. But this type of shit can happen, and in my opinion, this was more of a wake-up call, because if you look at the 4 receiver depth, and this is why it's good that we still have James Washington. So if Claypool were to miss maybe the first 5 or 6 weeks with this, we're not expecting that. But this just goes to show why it's still good that we have James Washington, even though he once traded, even though this is the last year on his deal and he might be out after this season. Deontay, Juju, James Washington versus Deontay, Juju, Ray McCloud. Now, I think we all like Ray McCloud. He has some elements to his game that our receivers don't have in terms of just speed and how he could take a jet sweep and take it to the house like that. But let's just be real. His highest receiving total was last year at 77 yards for his whole NFL career. So he's not really proven like that. Where we have James Washington, who has had very big moments for the Steelers, who's come up clutch in moments when we were at our lows with the Duck and Mason season. Think of the Bengals catch wherever he takes it on a slant. It's like a post route, stiff arms the dude, scores a touchdown. We get back in that game, end up winning. The Browns game where Duck Hodges is in and he's just slinging balls to the end zone. James Washington is coming down with him in borderline double coverage. And then even last year, the clutch catch against the Ravens, Washington, he had a really good game. So James Washington is a legitimate wide receiver in the league. The question is, what is his potential? That's where we're at right now. But in terms of James Washington versus Ray McCloud, that's a pretty big difference. And to have James as receiver 3 versus Ray as receiver 3 in case of injury is kind of a big deal. Now, don't mix up my words here. Chase Claypool is very important. My Steeler receiver ranking coming into the season is Claypool 1, Deontay 2, Juju 3, and then James Washington 4. So we're going to need Chase Claypool. This isn't one of those things where we lose him to injury and then you just, brush it to the side. We have James Washington. It's all cool. No. That would be a big loss. But in the case of injury, it's pretty damn good that we have James Washington. We could still keep the train rolling in case any one of our top 3 receivers go down. So that was my little takeaway from this. I'm glad Chase Claypool's all right. It's good that we still have James Washington. Maybe this injury is even a wake-up call for the Steelers that, hey, we're just not trading James Washington. Maybe they were thinking about it, but maybe at this point, they're just not going to do it. So hope you guys enjoyed the vid. Glad Chase Claypool's all right. I don't want to see him anymore in preseason. Hopefully he's ready by week 1. So that's about it. What was your take? Let me know down in the comments. Stay chilling. Peace.